like certainly he's got to have other options. He's not got a hero puddle here.
I assume they're going to still ban the Wisp here from GH unless they want to pick it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But then you start to look at the heroes that get let through, like the support heroes, like the Phoenix and whatnot, or we've seen a lot of Veno recently as well. The Doom, I was going to say the Doom, the Magnus. There's so many different things. They actually banned the Void instead, which is something Nigma have been playing really well around too. Miracles look great on that hero, so it's pick your poison. It's the problem with the new drafting system. You get 2 bans at the start of the game. What amazing
you really
hero
can't
are you going
account
to
for
give?
much.
Yeah, which amazing hero are you going to give the other team?
Magnus makes it through. Wisp makes it through. There's already a lot of options here for GH. I think usually, too, when you see, like, Weehaw not get this Bat Rider, they almost leave his hero for, like, last. Like, they'll try to draft, him, or try to draft around having him have that last option, or hope that they can. So it'll be interesting to see which direction they want to go with this. I know he's played Void Spirit earlier in the event. I think he played
Pugna.
Doom mid, right? Yeah, he played Pugna. So we'll have to see. And Alliance are the ones who go to the Phoenix. So that's a good pick, bit of a pick ban, but you're going into the Wisp anyway. That comes through the draft. You allow GH to have it, and now it's immediately into the Slark, which was what Nico Baby destroyed with in game 1, having that perfect no-death game. So now you go Gyrocopter, which I like Gyro. Obviously, I like him a lot more here with the Wisp, but I don't know. I feel like there's other 1 positions that might be able to benefit a little bit more or do a little bit more.
I still think this is fine though for both teams. Like, the way Nico Baby's just really good at this Slark hero, obviously. And the Halberd build that he goes for is pretty good against the Gyrocopter as well. So I don't think he should be massively worried necessarily. But I think the way Nigma have been playing this series so far and wanting to take these early engagements and team fights, Gyrocopter loves that crap. Like, he is all over that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to take these early fights. Like, he hits level 7. I don't care. I'm running down mid. Like, level 3 even. Like, it doesn't matter. You're just so strong at fighting at all points of, like, the early game because of that Rocket Barrage spell. And Slark is going to need a little bit more space to come online and farm a couple of items before he can try and fight into that Gyrocopter, mainly like the Halberd. So it'll be interesting to see how Alliance look to draft around this Slark now and what Limp's going to play, because they need to make sure they can sustain and fight these early engagements. Otherwise, they're going to fall further and further behind like they did that last game.
Yeah. So it's, looking towards the future. We'll see what they go for. They ban the Magnus this time.
Yeah.
A hero that seems to have made it late in drafts for both games. So, I'm wondering what they want to do here, more so with Weehaw. Are we going to see something crazy? Are we going to see like the Weehaw Meepo? I'm thinking of all the possibilities here for both teams. What are we going to see?
I think they'll probably look to pick the Bane next on Nigma as their like solid position 5 here if it doesn't get banned. Or like I still think the Clockwork's okay, but I think Bane's just a little bit better at the moment in terms of like the lane support it can offer against the Phoenix. So
yeah,
it sets up for relocate well as well, with like the Fiend Script or the Nightmare.
But do you go Bane, or would you go something like, say, the 5 position Snapfire?
I mean, you could go Snapfire as well. Like, it's good against the Egg. They actually banned the Bane themselves. That's interesting. Okay. I thought they might look to ban out something like Disruptor instead for FNG, because that hero is so good against the Wisp, like we saw in game 1. But, because they don't really have an answer to this Wisp yet, right? Like, I mean, Phoenix is okay, but they need like a hero that gets onto the Wisp at the start of the fight. And I'm not sure Slark's enough. GH, the amount of farm that he's been getting in these games recently, like, it's going to suggest that he's going to get like an early Ghost Scepter or like a Glimmer Cape that he did in the first game. So you need to be prepared to have some hero that jumps in with a stun that can pick the Wisp off at the start.
Banning that Beastmaster. Beastmaster we saw in the first game for Mind Control. It did okay in the beginning. Felt very lackluster towards the back half of that game. Wasn't really able to do much more than throw Primal Roar. On top of which, the Disruptor really worked out for Alliance. I wouldn't actually be surprised if we saw the Disruptor again for him.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, Hanskin played it last time, though. He's probably going to play the Phoenix. I think that Beastmaster ban's really good, though, because it pressures the Slark in lane, but the attack speed aura is also really good against the Egg. So I think it's a really like good value ban overall. They take the Disruptor, though, on Nigma. Okay.
Yeah, so instead of themselves, they take the Disruptor. Now they've got that, that big static storm to work with. Knock down the kinetic field, and we'll have to see what they, what they want to follow this up with. Again, it looks as though they're waiting to pick Weeha's hero towards the end, or till the end. They do have the final pick, so it's not the worst thing in the world to wait.
I think they're more likely to pick Weeha's hero last here and just pick Mind Control's hero next, because like they know they're going to be laning up against the Slark, right? Like, yes, it shows both your side lanes straight away, but I think that's fine. Ooh. Maybe now because it could just still be S4 on the Kunkka. That's the big problem for them here. Their X is really good against Wisp. This is what I'm saying. They need a hero that deals with that hero. They need a hero that deals with the Wisp, I mean. And the X is really good at like throwing people off. Like it gives them good team fight as well with the Egg, which is nice. Like you have the torrent, you've got the boat to protect yourself. That's interesting.
Ooh.
So now you're put in a position where if it's Kunkka mid, you can put the Necro mid to lane up against it because it's a really good matchup. Or if it ends up being Kunkka off lane, you could even put Mind Control on the Necro and like do some weird aggro try and then put the Necro solo safe lane against the Kunkka. Because Mind Control and Weeha both play this hero really well.
Yeah.
I also want to say it's really difficult to play Slark against Necro because you want to be playing around on low HP before you pop the Shadow Dance, but it doesn't work up against the Necro because he's going to pop that Reaper Scythe relatively early, and then the Slark just goes from 100 to 0, right? Like, you've got to be so wary of that. It gives them good... Yeah, you go.
They go to the Ancient Apparition afterwards. Like, is that enough to counter here the Necrophos?
It's pretty good against that and the Wisp as well because it stops the healing coming through. But they have like a really big problem with lockdown here. Like especially when Gyro gets BKB, they're going to have a massive problem, and it's going to be like a BKB Gyro, right? So I worry for Alliance that Enigma are going to hit this timing around that BKB and just run at them like non-stop, which could be very difficult to deal with.
I have to figure out what these last picks are going to be. They ban out the Sand King. Mind Control played that really well in game 2. They get rid of the Lina, which wasn't exactly the most amazing game from Limp in game 1, but towards the end where he had that Desolator and was just outputting so much damage. Granted, Nico Baby was basically frontlining the entire team at that point, but he was still doing a lot with that hero. So it'll be interesting to see because, you're talking about Mind Control being on the Necro or Weeha being on the Necro. You get more of a feel with that. You have the last pick. You have the benefit of that. So I think Nigma right now are in a really good spot to round out their draft and having a bit of a draft advantage.
I think Nigma have a problem though. They miss a frontliner, right? And they need somebody with initiation. Because at the moment, they're really reliant on the glimpse to be able to find people. So they need, like, we saw how like this Centaur kind of heroes were being banned last by Alliance before as well, and they banned the Axe as well.
That was actually the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, they need some catch. Like Mind Control plays things like Slardar as well, which might be okay.
What about Tidehunter?
I don't like it against the Slark too much in the laning stage. I think the Slark destroys that hero in the lane. Like, it's not awful for their game overall, but I think they want something that's a little bit less cooldown focused. Because if you look at the rest of their team at the moment, they kind of want to just fight non-stop a little bit with this Gyrocopter, right? Who doesn't really have any cooldowns. So that's why things like the Sand King and the Axe are so good, because they don't have any long cooldowns to play around.
Well, then, couldn't you do something like Underlord? Use that Pit of Malice?
Ooh.
And that's the Legion getting through this time. The Legion banned in the previous game because they had that Bat Rider. They wanted to take away anything that can really counter that lasso. A lot of time here for Enigma to really figure it out. Blink Duel, is it going to be an issue?
It's really good because they have the AA on their team as well. So whoever S4 is going to duel, they have to follow up with the Ice Blast as well. That was my biggest problem with the AA pick at the moment. Like, as AA Phoenix as a support duo is a little bit awkward because neither of them really want to go in. They don't really have any stuns. So they needed somebody that could offer that front line and the blink initiation that they were missing. And Legion
Yeah.
definitely does that. I think it would have been a decent pick for Nigma as well, potentially. I mean, the problem is, like, they could go for something like the Underlord as well if they really wanted, but it's really bad against the Slark in lane. Maybe, like... I mean, Veno's not very good either. They missed that front line, like... Like, at some point in this game, Gyrocopter can be the front line when Gyro gets BKB and stuff,
But it'll be a little while until he's able to do that.
And it's the same with Necro as well. Like, Necro can eventually be a frontliner when the Necro gets items. But it's just they need to reach that point. I'm going to look at hero list. Tell me if something gets picked.
Well, they could still go with, Necro off lane and go something different mid, right?
What about, like, Brewmaster or something?
Gives you control. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Get that Cyclone off. Would really be nice to put that out onto, the Legion or something, or the Kunkka.
Even the Slark as well, potentially, could be really strong.
Yeah.
It doesn't lane up awfully against Slark either, because you have the Drunken Brawler for evasion.
And there's the Void Spirit. So it looks like they're going to go with the Necro off. And I was thinking just about that Brewmaster. They don't exactly have anything to really blow him up either. And it will end up being the Weehaw Void Spirit. That'll throw the Necro in the offlane. Miracle on the Gyrocopter, GH on the Wisp, and R-Man on the Disruptor. FNG playing the Ancient Apparition, of course. S4 on the Legion Commander. Limp on that mid Kunkka. Nico Baby back on the Slark. And Hanskin playing the Phoenix.
I wonder whether they still want to run some aggro try with the Enigma team, though. Into, like, this greedy support duo of Phoenix AA, because they don't really have any stuns, right? They can't really bully. The problem there is that then the Gyro and Wisp don't really get XP, which they kind of need, but my controls look so good in, like, 1v1s recently. Like, especially, like, Necro versus Legion seems pretty good for the Necro, so if you manage to get MC in a 1v1 there, could MC just take over the game?
Potentially.
It'll be interesting to see how Limp plays this game in comparison as well to the other two, because like we said, he's really struggled in the laning stage, which has been his forte so far this tournament. And now I feel like he's in something that's a little bit more even. And if anything, it's probably a little bit Kunkka favoured here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, though, with the Void Spirit, I've seen it before where it's like Kunkka feels good, but like there's a lot here for the Void Spirit to avoid the X and avoid, really getting entangled in sort of that catch that the Kunkka brings to the table. You've got the Astral Step for movement. You have the Dissimulate just to make sure that, you're avoiding everything that Alliance is throwing or avoiding some of the things that Alliance is throwing. And then even if you're able to land Aether Remnants here and get that extra bit of lockdown, like it could really become problematic for these heroes on Alliance, especially if Nigma can find themselves having Weehaw jump to the backlines and kill off that Ancient Apparition very quickly. Like, I feel like all of a sudden AA's game gets very difficult with the Void Spirit pickup.
Yeah, for sure. And so let's see what they're going to do with their laning setup here.
Prepare for battle.
So it looks like, okay, Gyro Wisp are just running top. Looks like they're going to do a standard laning stage. Because the thing is, like, Necro still lanes up okay against Slark. The problem is that if they ever start running at you and you don't have Ghost Shroud up, the Slark can just kind of click you down a little bit. But hopefully with the Disruptor there as well, it should be enough to offset the balance. I cannot believe Nigma are one game off getting to the grand final with a stand-in on their POS 5. That's insane. Like,
insert thread about Kuroki not having a job.
Yeah. I mean, Sox, do you remember when he stood in for OGA? I can't remember what tournament it was, and whenever they won games, he was, like, so happy. And I feel like maybe RMN's the same, but maybe I think he's a little bit more reserved as a person from, like, what I've seen from him before.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gone for this Null Talisman as well on the Disruptor. That's what we've been talking about. Having that nice...
He's played pretty greedy.
It's still
in terms
good,
of
though.
5.
He has, like, even with the Warlock last game, like we were saying, he had more net worth than GH, right?
Well, until the end, but...
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So S4 gets relatively low up in the top lane. Actually has to get salved up right at the start. So, going to be missing out on a little bit of regen there early on. And we saw Miracle and GH absolutely destroy in Game 1 in their laning stage with the Wisp. So,
Yep.
Let's see what they can do here. Taunt Wars mid.
Well, I mean, you're coming off games where both mids have kind of had decent times. Like, Limp started okay in the first game, but, you know, now Weehaw had that amazing game over in game 2, so we'll see. Like, I'm excited. Who's gonna win the lane game 3, you know?
I mean, it's definitely like the Kunkka, saying the Kunkka's definitely favored in this lane. But
is he favored early and throughout, or is he just favored, like, until Weehaw starts getting a couple of points out into Aether Remnant and, like, Resonant Pulse and all that?
No, I think it's Kunkka favored pretty much all the time through the laning stage. Like, from Weehaw, it's going to be more about the rotations he makes around the map. Because he needs to be finding kills, like with that Astral Step at level 6 and whatnot.
FNG gets low. He's forced to use that salve over towards bottom, continuing to throw out the Chilling Touch where he can. He's got two Fairy Fires on him, as well as just a bunch of regen.
Yeah, I mean, look at the CS mid already. It's crazy.
Yeah, the CS is nice. Like, obviously, Weehaw getting beat so far in terms of CS, but I wonder if maybe things get a little bit easier as he gets more levels out here. Because if he hits a couple of Aether Remnants, he's able to lock him down. Like, this could become problematic for Limp, but I don't know. I feel like I'm just making excuses for Weehaw right now, where it's a very Limp favored lane. It's just after that game 2 performance, it's like it's hard for me to articulate in my mind like all that as Nico Baby getting first blood on the RMN over bottom, but FNG should be fine.
Did not expect that again. I was too busy looking at this mid lane. And they're trading really well with regen as well. Top lane S4 Legion has run out of regen here, so he's going to struggle a little bit.
GH backing off with Miracle. He's getting close to that level 3. S4 very close to his level 3 as well. He's gone into the Quelling Blade and the Ring of Protection.
Seems like pretty even laning stage relatively overall. It's just this top lane which has been a little bit difficult for Alliance, but it's still not awful for them. They're doing okay.
What is S4?
Step lively now. Your admiral is
What's he picking up here? Oh, okay, he's got his boots coming in.
Yeah, he needs to get more regen though as soon as he can. Like Hanskin's having to pass him off the tangos. Actually, Hanskin's picked him himself, so that's fine.
Has the salve, has another 2 tangos if they're needed. You know, he's already passed them over one tango already. But this is a little bit different from what we were seeing from Nigma in the first game and kind of the second game as well. Their CS is a lot better.
Yeah.
It felt like Alliance were pulling an advantage from the CS that they had in especially game 1. Like, even though Miracle got kills up top with GH, like, the CS was so much better. They're going to look over the Necro. They've got the Cold Feet as well as the Pounce. He's leashed up. Kinetic Field won't last long enough, won't box them out. Mind Control goes down. They look over at RMN for a second, but Nico Baby already sitting a little bit low. Does not want to make that approach onto this Disruptor. He's taking a massive amount of damage.
Limp manages to bottle up, sorry, not bottle up, but take the Arcane Rune as well, so Weeha's not going to be able to fill up his bottle here. And it, unfortunately for Weeha, reduces the cooldown on Tidebringer as well, so...
Oh, still got pulled in after the Dissimulate.
Your admiral is on board.
And one of these supports here is probably going to have to look to TP to the mid lane soon to fill up this bottle. I mean, he has the 5-minute runes coming, but he's still relatively low overall.
If they get the kill here on RMN, he'll just TP towards mid, fill up the bottle, but RMN gets out via the kinetic field that goes up. Nico Baby didn't leash on the pounce, excuse me.
Weeha's like, man, can you not just die there? Come on, man, I need my bottle
refilled. Supports don't even know when to die. He did pick up the bounty rune, so he got it filled. Would love it to be filled again, but that's that greedy core stuff that's going on. So 2-0 so far for Alliance. As Kunkka obviously leading the charge in terms of CS. He's up 13 CS over Weehaw, gets hit with the Tidebringer. Phoenix making a rotation over towards mid, and Weehaw's not level 6 yet. He's still actually a half level off. And it's a full level ahead for Limp before this creep wave has gone down. But they've goofed the creep wave. They look for the X that assimilates there. It goes away from Onskin as well as Limp. Making the rotation over his RMN. Won't catch Weehaw, but that'll send him back to base, it seems.
They're trying to play around the catapult wave here, though. Like, they're going to get so much damage to this mid-tier 1 just because they managed to push Weehaw off the lane.
Mind control. Knowing that RMN's gone, he's in some trouble. Nico, is he gonna dive the tower? It looks like he will. Cold Feet once again. FNG supporting him to go under the tier 1 tower and get this kill. Nico Baby now has all 3 kills in this game and is on a killing spree.
Yeah, already 2 permanent agility for the Slark as well. That's pretty good. But like this is what I was saying about Limp though. His laning stage has been so good for the rest of this tournament. He's 1,000 gold ahead of Weehaw already at 6 minutes into the game. Something I haven't mentioned yet as well. The resonant pulse blocking the physical damage doesn't work with Tidebringer, even though it is physical damage.
I think there's a couple other things it doesn't block, right? It's like Tidebringer and I think 2 or 3 other things. I forget what they are. Because I remember having this conversation maybe during the Chinese event. And we talked about this.
I mean, we saw a lot of void sprint in China, so that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, we saw it in a bunch of positions as well. I know we saw Jingqiu play it in the 4 position, which was quite fun. Certainly a versatile hero. Good to see, new heroes kind of find their footing in terms of getting into the meta.
FNG bot lane might be in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, he might be the first death for Alliance, as now the Pounce leashes, though. They've got themselves the Icarus dive. Mind Control in some trouble. They glimpse back Nico Baby, the Sunray. Mind Control still on the run. Can he get out of this? He doesn't have a TP. It's actually on cooldown for another 20 seconds. It'll take them on the run, wasting a lot of time. But worth the permanent agility if they can get the kill.
Yeah, Nico Baby's like, well, I've committed now, so...
Pounce leash. Still not getting the kill. Has the heal once again. 2 wand charges. Uses them, but eventually one more hit will come through and Nico Baby will get the kill. Giving him his 3rd permanent
top lane
agility.
as well. S4 getting dove on the tower.
Down. Rocket Barrage. Gonna get the kill. Press the attack. Not enough damage. Now a Cold Feet procs. But there's nobody here to follow this up. Miracle just freezes over and has to back off to the tier 1 tower.
Yeah, they're going to be able to start pushing this top tier 1 as well. RMN's getting loads of XP down in the spot lane. So that kill on the Necro, although it's good for the Slark, like he misses out on quite a lot. And they're giving a lot to Nigma in return.
Mid lane, giving a lot to RMN. Limp getting low, and Weehaw getting the kill. The Astro Step finishing him off, and I mean that's what I was talking about. Get those levels, and maybe you can get yourself a kill. Hanskin comes in. They don't have another Astro Step for another 15 seconds, but Nico Baby rotates. Nico Baby gets the kill. Make it a 4th permanent agility.
How is Nico Baby just always in the right place at the right time? It feels like doesn't matter like what hero he's playing. And Mind Control's about to hit this level 6 here as well, and so is RMN. So they might be able to get a kill between them here, especially if they smoke up with the Static Storm and the Death Pulse with the Reaper Scythe. Mind Control.
X with the Tauren and the Ghost Ship. A lot of damage being done. Static Storm, though, comes in. Saves Mind Control, walks away from getting procced over with Cold Feet, so doesn't freeze. In some trouble, but the Reaper Scythe comes through. Weehaw's here. Mind Control surviving. They get the kill on a Limp. They take out Hanskin!
Oh my god.
Oh my, that goes horribly for Alliance.
That's so bad as well, because Limp, that's like his first big rotation this game, right? Like, he dies mid, because he's doing so well, and then all of a sudden he TP's about to find a kill. Not only does he not get it, but he dies as well. Like, 2 deaths in quick succession on this hero that's been doing so well. S4 top as well are being dove here.
Getting run down. Homing missile hits. Rocket Barrage is there. They'll get another kill. Phoenix TP's in, but it's not in time. This is what we were seeing from Nigma in Game 2, was just the ultimate aggression turning into kills and converting it into a victory.
Oh, and Mind Control picks up a Faded Brooch as well on the Necro. It's insanely good for him. And he's really tanky now because he has this double brace of treads and the cloak as well. I imagine he's going to go back for this hood.
Gave up the Faded Brooch.
Is he giving it to the Gyrocopter?
No, he picked it up again. That was weird.
Oh, right, okay. Or maybe was he like mangoing or something, or dropping it for regen potentially? Because like you know when you tread switch when you're getting the regen from the.
It was just he
the heart
put it on the
support.
courier and then
Tower is under attack.
you know, got it delivered back again. Courier got a couple steps away and then he picked it back
Top
up.
lane.
Top. I don't think that ghost ship hit. They relocate out. They're gonna come back in on this one.
Step lively now.
I mean, GH just
Your
does 10-1 charges, stick charges as well.
Yeah,
I don't think
they're
they can
TPing
do
in the
anything up
disruptor.
But yeah, RMN TP's an interesting case, but they're fine. And this is what I mean. Here's the drums on the gyrocopter now, and he's the strongest hero on the map at this point. Like, they can just look to go crazy here. They're gonna smoke up.
And it should be BKB
They want to take
next.
this. Look at this is the ancient stack contesting that we were talking about before as well. They're gonna wrap around here.
And they get all the way around on Limp. Limp no longer has that torrent to work with, so he's just going to be hit with the rocket barrage as well as the homing missile coming in. They're not even going to need it. They'll grab the end of this ancient stack, get the kill on a Limp, and pause comes through from GH. But that's another kill out of the Kunkka, who started the game farming so well, and now look at where he is in the net worth. He's behind Weeha. He's died 3 times in a row. It's really falling apart.
I mean, never mind him. Look at the Legion. Like S4's not had a game on this Legion. He's really struggling, and I don't see a point where he's going to find the time to recover. Like he needs his blink to be able to make plays, but he hasn't even finished his phase boots yet. Like the Kunkka and the Slark need to be taking farm priority in this game. So where's S4 going to farm? Like he has to try and find kills with the Legion and the Phoenix. Sorry, with the AA and the Phoenix. Because if they duel somebody with the Ice Blast on top and the Egg or something, then maybe they can find a kill. But I really struggle to see how S4 is going to have game impact at any time soon. He has 28 CS in 11 minutes.
Jesus.
That's like nothing.
So just need another second. S4 asking for it. And, 4K lead for Nigma just under 12 minutes into the game.
And look at how proactive they were at taking out this ancient stack, though, or like at least trying to steal some of it and kill the Kunkka. Like, how many times did we see earlier in these tournaments the teams that went down to the lower bracket? They just let them take the ancient stacks. They didn't ever contest them. And I think you're seeing a big reason here. Like I was saying, it's almost an objective. It's like a tower or a Roche.
They're looking over towards mid. They look for Nico Baby. They got themselves the glimpse, but he goes into the Shadow Dance. Static Storm is down. Aether Remnant hits. Nico Baby will fall for the first time this game after starting it with 5 straight kills. And they're going to go to get this tier 1 tower mid as well.
Yeah, and here comes the acceleration of the game. They've got the drums on the gyrocopter. Weeha understands how strong he is as well on this Void Spirit. And they're just going to start running around, trying to take as many towers as they can on the map. Kunkka's TPing in here.
Tower is under attack.
S4 comes forward with the TP, but there's the glimpse back. See you later. Just as quickly as you got there, the faster you'll go back. They'll use the Ice Blast that hits onto the gyrocopter. Miracle survives just barely,
Oh, he's dead.
but eventually will fall. So I believe he was sent back into the base. They go to the Supernova. Can they get this Phoenix Egg off? GH, right-clicking. Reaper Scythe comes through. FNG, Hanskin, both fall looking over at Limp. Nico Baby thinking about coming in onto this one, but now he's just walking under the tier 1 tower. Maybe Weeha goes for this, but doesn't have any charges left over in the Astral Step, so no reason to go too far and find yourself out of position.
That could be worse though for Reliance. Honestly, they kept their tower alive for a little bit longer and they killed the gyrocopter. S4's just charging in here.
Yeah, press the attack is used. Still taking a lot of damage. Nico Baby thinking about going in. Miracle's back up now. So he'll throw the flat cannon, doing a bit of damage here to Limp as well as S4, and will finish off the tower.
As soon as Miracle's back alive again, he just recharges mid. Just get stuck in again.
Dire's top tower is under
Now they're going to look
attack.
to probably take the bot tier 1 here. And then you're probably going to try and calm the game down a little bit for Nigma to try and get to this BKB on the gyrocopter. He's not even level 9 yet on the gyrocopter, right? But like, he understands how strong he is just because he's got the Wisp behind him. Like,
Nico Baby, Aether Remnant locks him down once again. They got the kinetic field, and with the call down and the damage followed up from the rest of the team, they'll grab
Radiant's bottom tower
another
is
kill on a
under
Nico
attack.
Baby. Back-to-back kills and back-to-back towers, taking the mid tier 1, and now the bottom tier 1 will fall as well. And this
Radiant's
is
bottom tower
going
has fallen.
really
Going
well
there.
for Nigma. Static Storm, Kinetic Field, but they've got the X as well as the Ghost Ship. RMN, he is in a lot of trouble. The duel is out. They'll hit the Ice Blast. They'll get the victory, but S4, that doesn't mean you're safe. Homing Missile comes through. They've made the relocate decision and will come up towards top to get the kill on S4. Meanwhile, Hanskin falls to Weeha. They relocate out
Radiant's
and
middle tower is
over
under
to
attack.
safety bottom.
Yeah, Weeha's almost finished up the shields here as well, so he's going to be really strong when he gets that online. Can use it to start messing with the X as well from the Kunkka.
Like you said in the draft, you know, it is drums into the BKB very quickly for Gyrocopter, and once he gets that BKB, really, what do you do to deal with him? And not only that, they've already, you know, been pretty much a destructive force with just the drums. It's very impressive from Enigma so far.
And you have to look at it like, what BB on the Miracle when he does get it. Nice blast spot. This is really good, actually.
If they can get this kill, that would be massive. Sunray on Miracle trying to run, but eventually Hanskin will finish him off. Miracle, he just bought out on the Mithril Hammer. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it does push him back further from that BKB and does grab the kill for the side of Alliance. They get the duel on RMN, 2 shots until they get that dual damage. Astral Step across Nico Baby as well as S4. So a couple of pickoffs there for Alliance that they are very happy to have.
Yeah, that's a big pick-off, especially for S4, because not only does he get the dual damage, but he's on his way to that blink now.
Wimp, press the attack, is okay, and we'll see how long that's true for. Ghost Ship keeps Nigma at bay, but I say that Miracle GH, they relocate forward, they look over as Legion's in some trouble. They got the Sun on S4, they use the Reaper Scythe to slam him down. It's not the finishing blow, Weeha actually gets that, but it's another kill on S4. And look at where he's at in terms of net worth. He has nothing.
Limp does survive, though, which is really important for Alliance. Like, they need this Kunkka to get to the armlet, because that's going to be the... Sorry, not the armlet, the halberd, because that's going to be their way of dealing with the Gyrocopter. Like, unfortunately, though, he's going to get the halberd at the same time Gyrocopter's going to get BKB. Or, I mean, Gyro's going to get BKB first, but... So as long as Gyro gets the BKB off, this halberd's just going to be ineffective. I'm actually wondering whether Limp might decide to go back for the BKB now instead. Because I think if he doesn't go for the BKB now, it's going to come out so late. And he has committed for the Sange then. Okay. I really do worry for them here.
Already quite the deficit.
Right.
Yules again, Aether Remnant doesn't land. Limp hit with the press the attack. Double damage here for Weeha. Torrent doesn't hit either, but won't give much chase. Check in on Nico Baby. He's got the Echo Saber going into the BKB next.
Yeah, they're going to link up towards Weeha, though, with the smoke coming from the bot side. And I think any pickoff could potentially just change into a Roche because they have the BKB on the Gyrocopter now.
They're going to go in on this. They look over. Limp, Static Storm, Ice Blast coming through from FNG. Is it going to be enough? Doesn't look like it. They've got the Sunray on Limp to try and keep him alive. He actually does survive for the moment.
Gyro's in trouble.
Out, but they get the kill on S4 as well as Limp. They've got the BKB pop by Miracle. Nico Baby coming over to try and do something with this, but he's forced to pounce away. FNG, Dissimilate, gets the kill. He's going to be the third one to fall on the side of Alliance. It's a triple kill for Weeha. Thinking about diving the tier 3s, but why go so far and put yourself in a spot like that?
Miracle just about managed to survive the frostbite there by popping his BKB that came on the courier. Was really close, but didn't quite tick under. Yeah, and they're just going to turn this into the tier 2 here. I said about Roche before, maybe they don't even feel like they need to go Roche, because they don't take it massively quickly, right? And if you go Roche, you're kind of taking the pressure off of them up.
Legion once again. He's in some trouble. Nico Baby comes in, starting to do a lot of damage. Ice Blast hits on 4 of these heroes. They got the Reaper Sight that hits on S4. Can they get the kill on a mind control? Yes, they can. So they'll trade 1 for 1. Nico Baby looking for more. He's trying to catch up to Weeha as well as RMN, but the Aether Remnant's wisely placed by Weeha to lock them down. Now into the Supernova, but that is quickly taken care of. GH now they're on Miracle. They look over at Nico Baby. They get themselves the kill onto Slark. The block on the pounce there is so good from Weeha with the Astral Step, but they look over at Limp. Homing Missile coming in. FNG, he's going to be Yuled up and actually left to live because they don't care about this Ancient Apparition. They're just looking over at the Kunkka to get the kill on a Limp and take out a 4th. This is a 10,000 net worth lead here for Nigma and an absolute slaughter.
Now, when I said Weeha needed to focus on his like hitting his level 6 and his just rotations around the map, I didn't think he was going to go 11, 1, and 3. Like, he was really struggling in that mid lane in terms of CS, but his like play on this hero, it feels like Batrider as well, that they pick it so early on in the draft, that Bat, because they understand that even if it has a rough time in the laning stage, it has this game plan that they want to play with the rest of their team, like this early like team fighting and just aggression. And Void Spirit does that so well. Oh, Slark. Oh,
Right into
no.
Static Storm. Nico Baby dead again. They're going to find Hanskin. And they kill him. Fall down use. Ice Blast comes through. Hits on a Miracle. He'll back off. But they've got the Glimpse on a limp, so... What can they do with this? We are moving forward. FNG with the Rocket Barrage. He goes down. They just rip through him. Miracle has a double kill. And again, we think about going past the tier 3s, but we wisely choose not to.
Jeez. What does Mind Control have as well? So he went Yules as well on the Necro. I wonder what he goes back for now instead. And there's a Grove Boat for the Gyrocopter, as if things weren't good enough already.
Do you give up the Vambrace for that?
Yeah, I think you give the Vambrace to either the Wisp or the Void Spirit now instead.
Admiral is on board.
And then you take the Grove Bow on the Gyrocopter. I mean, the stats are still really nice, so he might decide to keep it, but... I don't know, Gyro's, like, the Grove Bow is so good on Gyro because the Magic Amp works on the Rocket Barrage and whatnot as well. Have you seen GH's score, by the way? 0017.
Okay.
This is what I mean, like...
Step lively.
It's the sequel to
poison.
007.
On board.
He's 0017.
Dude, he's definitely not a double agent for Alliance. He's not doing a very good job if he is. Like,
Radiant are scanning.
The
This
name's
guy's owning.
GH.
oh no.
Bum, bum, bum. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry. James Bond is one of my favorite book and movie franchises out there. Static Storm on FNG. Kinetic Field is there with the Reaper Scythe. They'll slam it down on FNG and take him out for 60 seconds. No buyback.
I didn't want to laugh, Peacock, because I didn't want you to think it was funny. That was all.
Yeah, just like Chad.
Top lane as well.
Yeah, they're going to relocate in onto this. Nico Baby trying to get what he can, but, I mean, the Shadow Dance will only last so long. Overwhelming odds thrown out. Hits through heroes to simulate. Weeha backing off, but they've got the Torrent out. Supernova over to the side with the Ghost Ship coming through. Miracle in a little bit of trouble, but there's the relocate, sending them back. Supernova stuns up Weeha, but they've got the tether. GH comes back in. And, well, Weeha will survive. They look over at S4, and Miracle and Arman are coming back with the glimpse they've got on Handskin. So he'll fall to the Rocket Barrage, as well as the right clicks coming in from Mind Control. Weeha still surviving with a sliver of health. They'll eventually find S4. There's no way he gets out of this one. They've got the kinetic field down. They'll lock him up and kill him off. Weeha, 12, 1, and 5.
Have you ever...
GH, 0 and 18.
The people in chat are probably similar to this. So, you know, when you play a game of Dota, when you're playing against people that are much better than you, and you feel like they're running at you constantly, right? Like, the pressure on the map feels incredibly high. Imagine how Alliance are feeling now. I feel like I've had this experience so many times in my pubs before. Like, the pressure from Nigma here is absolutely relentless. And this is what we were saying about picking an offlaner that made sure it could fight constantly. It ended up being the mid in the Void Spirit instead, but they don't have to wait for anything. Like, their cooldowns are constantly up, apart from maybe, like, Reaper Scythe or whatever, but it doesn't really matter. They don't need it. And this is what this Gyrocopter here is so good at doing. Like, just running at people constantly.
And it all stems off Weeha coming over.
They found another one.
Yeah, they're going to find Hanskin on this Phoenix. They've taunted him up with the Aether Remnant. They'll glimpse him back. They'll get the kill, and it's now 27-10. 16k net worth lead for Nigma. But yeah, it goes back to Weeha making that rotation where Mind Control lives with just, like, what?
Radiant's
25
top tower is under
health?
attack.
It's
I mean,
crazy,
I think it really, the game ends up being
Radiant's
that
top
close
tower has fallen.
to going in a different direction.
Radiant's top
The
tower
Gyrocopter's just
is under
going up to the
attack.
high ground here as well. They glimpse back this
They've got the glimpse as well as
Legion.
the Static Storm on S4. They'll get the easy kill. They'll slam down the Reaper Scythe, get him gone for 60 seconds with buyback. They're onto the high ground. They'll look for the tier 3, and everybody's here from the side of Team Nigma to finish off the game. Nico Baby
Sark
looking
has
to
a
move in.
BKB.
They've got the Axe as well as the Torrent. Now they move forward. GH goes to the tether, backs off to RMN. The BKB's been popped by here by Nico Baby. Miracle. He's getting low, but he's got the Aegis, so he doesn't really mind. But Nico Baby, he's going to continue to get these Essence Shift
It's an
stats.
Aegis, though.
Aether Remnant locks him up. Now Nico Baby, homing missiles come in his direction, so he's forced to back off. Look over at Weeha, and they've got him locked down with the Torrent, but it's not doing enough damage. They're really not securing anything on the side of Alliance towards Nigma. Limb's getting low. Shots coming in from Miracle. Miracle needs to be careful, just in case he loses that Aegis and is in too far. But
they have so much the same, though. They've got the Wisp and they've got the Necro as well. Like, Wisp has mech, the Necro has pipe. Like, they don't do enough damage on the Alliance side at the moment. I mean, Slark's got Beaker, but it's on cooldown still.
It's going to be a set of racks, it looks like it. Astro step forward, Weeha with the Aether Remnant kills off S4. They've got the Sansan Olymp once again. They have this Ags picked up by Void Spirit, so the silence is really devastating in this close combat fights. Hanskin, he falls, he'll buy back immediately. They go for the set of racks, they'll take them out. Do they just retreat from here, or do they look for more? Do they look to finish the game? Miracle, GH here with that Axe, backed off for just a second, but they've got the glimpse on Olymp. And the Aether Remnant just a bit slow. Nico Baby moves forward. BKB, nice popped in the Static Storm. Ice Blast coming in. This is going to hit on just GH on the backlines, I believe, as the Ghost Ship comes through and hits on a GH as well. But they've got the Aether Remnant. Alex off FNG with a call down coming through. They get the kill onto this Ancient Apparition. They look over the rest. Glimpse back once again. He can't get far enough from the grasp with Nigma as they continue to glimpse him back and pull him back in with things like the Aether Remnant as well as the glimpse. They get the kill on Olymp. They look over at Nico Baby. He bounces back into the well. And it's just him and Hanskin against all of Nigma, who now turn their attention over to the tier 3 mid.
Middle tower is under attack.
Do Alliance really want to just keep going here? Like, I'm really surprised. Maybe they feel like they can get one more fight potentially, but again, like, they're all just full HP again on Nigma because of this whole sustain that they have. They still have the egg up here, and there is the jewel on Legion, but unfortunately, just S4 doesn't have a blink. He's 9th in net worth. Like, how are they supposed to get into the fight in the first place without this blink on the Legion? It's a shame for Alliance as well, because I actually think some of their spell usages aren't awful this game, but because they're so far behind, it just doesn't matter. Like, they don't have any damage on their team at all because of this massive difference in net worth.
26,000 net worth down. Quite honestly, just domination from Nigma.
Nico Baby, come on. Get him. Oh, he sees the Necro as well. He's like, no. Absolutely not.
Oh, no. Weeha, he's here as well. And there's the Reaper Scythe.
Oh, no.
I would say that's the dagger, but it's still a scythe.
Is this the mental damage enough to make them call it? Is that what they're going for?
Go for the tier 2 over bottom. Halberd picked up by the Kunkka. But we talked about this Halberd how long ago that we were thinking that this Halberd was going to become available.
It was quite a while ago, wasn't it? Go on, get that jewel. Here we go.
The duel, and now with the Torrent as well as the Static Storm coming in.
Relocate,
but
though.
isn't going to be enough. They've got the relocate. The silence is out onto the Kunkka. The Supernova pops, and that will lock up Weeha for just a moment. But he's got the Dissimulate to really juke and jive here. X,
nice Yules.
Land, Yules, used, and now they've got the pounce as well as the leash. Nico Baby has to do what he can. He pops the BKB, continue to look over at Weeha. He's got himself only 4 stacks of Essence Chip. Hanskin getting low. It looks like they'll take up this Phoenix. Now they look over at Nico Baby. He's in the Shadow Dance. They got the kill on Hanskin, and they look over at Limp. They take out S4. They'll take out Limp. 4 heroes gone. Nico Baby the only one alive, but they call it GG. Can they get the kill on him before it blows up? Doesn't look like it. But, however, Team Nigma have booked their ticket in the grand finals.
They absolutely ran over OG yesterday. In game 2 and 3 today, they absolutely run over Alliance as well. With a stand-in position 5. Let's just remember that.
I'm expecting a tweet. Kuroki will not be joining us for the next event either. RMN will continue to stand in, and then the rumors will fly.
I think Alliance played really well in game 1 this series. Like, especially because they were playing from behind right there. They came back, Nico Baby didn't die the whole game. It looked amazing. But then in game 2 and 3, like, it didn't even look like games. They were just so one-sided.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, Nigma, this Wisp has to go. GHN 0028 that game. Like, it's the perfect support score. But then he doesn't die in the Rubik game either. We need to nerf GH.
How many times did he die in the first game? Like 3 or 4, right?
It's insane, isn't it?
It wasn't like he died a massive amount in the first game of this series.
And I don't know. I think Limp especially, they shut him down really hard, and they identified that he was like the strong playmaker for that team.